Welcome to Rich Thoughts, Poor Jokes, the podcast where meaningful conversations about mental wealth meet a healthy dose of humor. Each week, your hosts, Dr. Roxy Riefkohl-Cook and Dr. Stephanie Ellis, two of Houston's most respected doctors of counseling and psychology, coach you on the path to mental wealth. They will not just inspire, but entertain you while empowering you to elevate your life.
Welcome to Rich Thoughts, Poor Jokes, a mostly serious podcast about mental wealth where two psychotherapists
are here to teach you how to have security, freedom, and luxury in every area of your life. You know what's great?
What?
I almost have the intro now.
That's so good. You almost have it memorized. Okay. Well, you know what else is great? Jokes.
No.
Jokes about communication.
Here we go,
That's
friends.
Great and fun and funny.
I take no responsibility. Elon Musk lands on Mars and steps out of his spaceship. Hashtag. It's a small step for man, but a giant leap for mankind, says the ground control officer. And cuts off all communications. Okay, that one got me.
Okay. There you have it. Welcome back, everyone, to our podcast. This series is all about communication, communication wealth. And today we're going to talk about this. This episode is titled, Say What You Mean and Feel Good About It. So, what are we going to do in this episode? Well, we want to help you look at some steps and some skills so that you can yourself create some effective and authentic communication in all areas of your life. We, at the very beginning, we gave you a little assessment. We wanted you to check in with yourself. We're hoping that by implementing some of these skills and techniques that your number is now rising up a little bit.
If you're feeling like your number is a 9 or higher, I'm just going to ask you to back that up one more time.
Back it up. But
we
today,
got 2 more episodes to get you to a 9, okay?
That's right. Okay, so we mentioned in the first episode, and we did say we are not expecting that this is going to be easy. Controlling emotions, emotion regulation can be difficult, but it's super important that you learn how to do that. So we said, stop, drop, and control your emotions. It's key. And then now we want to be able to give you some directions and some tips on how to do this and what factors you might want to take into account to make this happen.
There are bunches of factors.
Lots.
Let's start with honesty. I think since this is titled Say What You Mean, honesty's got to go right up here up front. And there's more to say about that than maybe a listener might think, right? So honesty is maybe a lot more complex than we learned it was in kindergarten. And it has to do with not just telling the truth. It has to do with communicating the truth, for one thing. Oh, let's back up. It has to do with knowing the truth, which we don't always do. We don't always take the time to know the truth for ourselves first. It takes communicating that truth. It takes that truth being able to cross the bridge between me and you through all the communication noise that we have and land in your perception space in a way that it still sort of means anything even remotely like what I intended for it to mean. And so that does start with clarity, but there's just a lot more to consider when it comes to honesty. And the buzzword about authenticity. It stresses me out and it deserves its own whole day, I think. But for today, I want to emphasize that your truth is your truth, but it's not everybody else's, maybe. That you, in the context of a relationship, I mean, I do not care if you want to like shout your truth to the person next to you at the stoplight if you live in a safe place where there's not guns.
Right.
You know, or if you just really feel like you need to like let it out for the bank teller or whatever, some folks you are not going to see again. Maybe that's not nice, but okay. But in the context of a relationship that you intend to continue, there is this sense of, in a Taylor Swift way, casual cruelty that is not necessary. It doesn't make you more honest to say something, quote unquote, clearly. If what that does is shut the doors on the other person being able to hear you. So defeats the purpose.
Yes.
Maybe we include in that whole realm of things empathy. Is that too big of a word to talk about today in the context of all this?
I think we do need to give a little bit more context, though.
Okay. I'll say empathy in the way that we've been talking about, which is as you listen to the other person, as you come to know more about what their inner landscape is, as you are able to, and here's the therapy definition of empathy, is to be able to think with the other person, to be able to do some perspective taking. Not sympathy, not pity, not that kind of stuff, but being able to think from their perspective is that helps you improve your honesty. That is what I'm trying to get at here, is that honesty is not just something that you are doing inside yourself.
Yes.
It's happening in a system.
Yes. And especially this awareness piece of empathy where you know this person and all of a sudden they communicate something very aggressively or very different. And we would want and I would hope you would want your mind to take you to a place where you think, what might be going on with that person? Instead of immediately going into addressing how you're feeling, how it's affecting you.
And listen, you are a human person if you do not like sitting with uncertainty. The brain does not like that.
Nope. Okay,
but if we don't sit with uncertainty, if we jump to, again, the worst thing that could possibly be going on,
right.
It's never going to work out well. Even if we're right, it's not going to work out well.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have a couple more factors,
yes,
I think, that I want to make sure that we talk about.
Okay.
So, well, there's a couple words I want people to not use. Is that too pragmatic for here in the intro?
Absolutely not.
You guys like it when we tell you practical stuff. I'm going to just need y'all to stop saying obviously. Just don't say that word anymore. That's not obvious. Did you listen to last time? Common sense is not common. What is obvious to you is not obvious to everybody. We just have to stop saying that word.
Agreed.
When you hear yourself say that word, that is a moment for self-reflection.
Obviously. What else? Oh, I know there's another one.
There are a few more. There are a few more. But the other one I think probably we should go ahead and just throw out there that we can't not say is yes, comma, but. So English is a weird language, and I could do a whole talk about that. I won't. There's a job for the word but. And the job of the word but in English is to disqualify whatever comes before it. So it's like this. I'm so happy you asked me to do this podcast with you, but I don't feel equipped to do it. What's the message that I want you to receive there? It's, I don't feel equipped. If I flip that and I say, I do not feel equipped to do this podcast, but I'm so glad you asked me to do it with you. What's the message?
You're glad, regardless.
Yeah, that word but just takes away. Right? So especially if the other person is saying something and you're kind of reflecting it back and you say, yes, but we lost it.
And in marriage counseling therapy, we
all the time
are teaching how not to use that.
Let me throw out what I think are a couple options. This is one of those things where you're going to catch yourself doing it's like biting your nails. You decide to stop biting your nails, and the next thing you do is bite your nails. But the next thing you do is bite your nails and catch yourself. And that's a step up that change process.
Baby step. That's what we want.
And so you'll first start just catching yourself doing it. You won't be able to fix it right away.
Yes. But
ultimately, one of the things that you can replace but with is a period. Sometimes and will work. And occasionally the word so. When in doubt, just use a period.
I like it.
I don't feel equipped. I'm so glad you asked me to do this.
Period. I'm so glad I asked you to do this too. I thought of some other factors while you were saying that. One is timing. We have to remember that timing matters. When we're going to have really effective, especially heavy conversations, you really need to do a check-in on yourself and the receiver on, is this a good time? Look at the when not. Lots of alcohol involved, having a heavy, maybe even problematic conversation. Lots of stress.
Oh, I don't know what we've decided about the language of the podcast, but one of the things I teach my clients about this timing thing is don't have an important conversation when you feel like SHIT. Stressed.
That's it.
Hungry. In pain. Or tired.
Oh,
sometimes
that's profound.
If it's relevant, I'll
Why are you just now sharing that?
Well, and listen, there's this thing and it's out in the world and it's halt and it's hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and it stresses me out because angry and lonely are not in the same caliber as hungry and tired, right? So stress, hunger, pain, intoxication. Sometimes I'll use that as the I if it's really relevant.
Okay.
And tired, they're states of your physical body that don't have these extra levels to them that just make everything not work well. So don't have big conversations when you feel like shit.
That's profound. I love it. Using it. Can I use it?
Have it.
Okay. I thought of another one. Words are powerful. And we need to remember that too. And the fact that they have a lot of weight or can. And so as we were speaking about, therapy or inner offices and so forth, number one, I don't think I've ever heard anybody share, as long as it was authentic, and it felt real, I've received too much positive feedback or too many positive affirmations, right?
Stop loving me verbally so well.
Right. However, not but.
However is a synonym for but.
It is, by the way. But I mean for it to be this. We absolutely hear words that are hurtful, heavy, negative, that stick. And specifically when they come from people that you care about, specifically your first relationships, parental relationships, etc. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to get this vision of, when you're in a conversation, pretend like it's a construction site. And, how much are you going to tear down and how much are you going to build up? Right? And if you really want this beautiful,
nice.
No, thank you. If you really want this big, beautiful, awesome building that you both can, be in and live in, then let's use a lot of building up words.
You can't unsay it.
That.
And I wish people would say this. You can't unsay it, but you could say it later. If you really have a zinger to give to your partner or your boss or your kid or whatever, it's not as if it's not going to apply tomorrow.
Right.
So if you have any hesitance about whether or not to say the thing, just don't say the thing right now.
That. And mixed with the fact that you can circle back. If you don't get it right, and we have said multiple times in this series, you won't. And you are going to mess up, and that's being human. And so, but know that you step away from it and it feels icky, or it created some turmoil, circle back.
Can we do a whole day, not in the series, but sometime on apologizing?
That's so important.
That'd be
Let's
fun.
do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So,
let me jump in.
Okay.
And say, we keep using the word conversation, and that's great. And conversation is a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what people are doing a lot. A lot of times, what we want to do is just say a thing to a person.
Mm-hmm.
And in my office, I call that speech making. I don't know if everybody will love that. But because speech making's fine. That's a perfectly reasonable thing to do in a relationship. Sometimes I have a thing that I would like to say to you, and I want you to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a speech.
Like a Christmas letter.
It's not a conversation. Right. I said I was going to come back to it. Here it is.
Right.
Here it is. It's not a conversation. A conversation implies that the next thing you say changes the next thing I say.
Yes.
Sometimes that's not what you're looking for. Sometimes it is speech.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I just wanted to make sure we throw that out there. A speech is an okay thing.
Yes.
Speeches are one of the forms of communication we'll be doing.
Yes. But different than this communication conversation thing that we're speaking about.
Yes.
Okay. So we promised that we would dig in a little bit more with you on how to communicate assertively. So, this is, and just to remind everyone, this is being very clear, very respectful with your communication, making sure that both the receiver and the sender are feeling good about what's being communicated. I matter, you matter. So how do we do this? What do we do?
I don't know, but something came up for me while you were saying that, which is I don't want this common sense isn't common thing, or this asking for feedback thing, or this recognizing that the other person has their own world that they are living in and coming from, to accidentally give listeners the idea that it is not their responsibility to do the best dang job they can do. It's like when you both are doing the best possible job you can do, we have the beginning of a possibility of having good communication.
That's it.
So maybe I could start with that. Communicating assertively is one of the things is do the best you can do all the time.
Love it.
Okay. And then I statements, listening, taking turns. Let's
Feedback.
flesh out some of that.
Okay. So I statements, and lots of people, this is out there. It's been in the universe for a really long time.
But it's terrible.
Yeah.
In the universe, it's terrible. The internet does not do a good job of this. Sorry.
Very true. So don't look up how to do I statements on the internet is what Dr. Ellis is saying to you right now. So starting with, and again, they have there's a basic piece of this. You don't have to follow this verbatim. However, if you're practicing it and that helps you by having a little script that's verbatim, then do that, right? Practice it until it becomes a habit. And then you'll find yourself maybe implementing, interchanging some of the verbiage, right? So
it's supposed to feel awkward when you first learn to do something new. So that's fine.
That I feel is what we hear a lot of times, and people will share, okay? Because again, we're making about ourselves. I feel blank when blank because of blank. And anything can go in there.
So the internet says, I feel blank is enough.
Right.
It is not enough.
It is not.
And one of the words that must not come next is the word like. Unless you're about to give an awesome metaphor. I feel like a fraying rope. I feel like a hungry bear. That's the only time you get to say I feel like is when you're about to do something very poetic. Otherwise, you have to say I feel and then use an emotion word.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be saying something that you think, not something that you feel.
Love that clarification. And why we don't stop. I feel blank when blank. And then we're trying to help our person understand how we're feeling and the reason behind it. So we add that piece. And then guess what? When you're really good at this, you shouldn't stop there either, right? Because there is another thing that we should be doing, and that is, what are we asking for then? What is it that we would like differently or better, or we might need or want, or what have you?
Or if you know a little bit about what is going on with you in that situation. So unrehearsedly, let's see if I can pull this off.
Okay.
Here's a bad one. I feel like you don't care about me. Not good. What did I do badly?
Well, you said like.
Said like. First of all, that's a thought. I think you don't care about me. I am believing. I'm in the process of believing that you don't care about me. Okay. And then I made it about you.
Yep.
And I decided what you were thinking or feeling for you instead of saying what was going on with me.
Right.
So everything wrong. I think I did everything wrong. And then I didn't.
I was feeling a little defensive.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel worried about the state of our relationship when, and here's a space if you're going to say something about the other person or what they have done, this is the space it goes. It might not be that. It might be something else when it rains, but maybe it's about you. I feel worried about our relationship when you are late to the movies, hearkening back to last week, all the way to last week,
Bringing it
when
back.
you are late to the movies. Because, and maybe I know something about me, because I grew up in a family where punctuality was really valued. And if we weren't on time, it said something about how much preparation we had put in or how much we cared about what we were doing.
It was wonderful.
Oh, I did it. Woo.
It was. Was it a dig? Oh,
How about this?
no.
How did that sound to you?
No, I need to go to therapy because I took it as a dig because I am not always punctual.
I didn't even make up the example about being late to the movies. That was you.
that was me. Okay. Okay.
Is that good? So I feel emotion when situation because explanation.
Yes. And even a step further, what I'm now looking for. That.
I like that too.
It's beautiful. Okay. We are going to give you a few more examples in the next episode of how to do that in all areas of your life. Feedback.
Oh, turn taking. Can I say something about turn taking? So, turn taking, we're grown-ups now. We are not playing Candyland. Now the listeners will learn something about me, and maybe it resonates, maybe it doesn't. But if you play any kind of game, like a board game or something like that, that's like more sophisticated than Candyland or more sophisticated than Settlers of Catan, something happens where when it's your turn, you might do more than one thing. You might draw a card and move a figure and adjust your resources. You might do more than one thing. So it's not like I take a turn, I say one thing, you take a turn, you say a thing. Turn taking in adult conversations. Yeah, I was just making sure I was talking about conversations, and I am, because that's the point, is the thing I say might change the thing you say next, which is what happens in Candyland. You pull a card, you're just moving to that color space, right? My turn does not affect you. But in a conversation, my turn affects you. And it might be a multi-step turn. So if I'm going to do the good work of, let's say, only saying 4 sentences at a time, I'm sorry, listeners. I realize I'm not doing this right now, but you can rewind me. If I'm doing the good work of just saying a few sentences, and it's my turn, you might, during my turn, say back to me what you heard. Or I might, during my turn, ask if you're understanding me. And then I might continue my turn. And after all of that's happened, and after I've assessed if you have a good understanding, if we have clarity between us, then you're going to get to have a turn, and your turn's going to be juicy multi-step turn too.
Yes.
All right. So I just want to make sure that we don't get into taking turns is not sword play.
Yes. Did we speak enough about the 4-sentence rule?
I'll just say.
Can you say that again?
One more time, just in case people didn't hear that part.
Is just a huge piece.
It's a good way to be listened to, is to not say more than the person you are speaking to can hear. And for most people, that's going to be 4 sentences or less. It's a rule I have actually with some of my couples. And I'll just wave a little flag during session if they start going over their limit, because the other person can only keep in their mind what they can keep in their mind.
Absolutely.
Which means that's all they'll be able to understand and all they'll be able to respond to.
Absolutely. So that's a good leeway. Let's talk a baby bit more about feedback. Well, we know it's important. We're trying to gauge the understanding of what it is that we're hearing. And you talked about it being a 2-way process and how this will change based on maybe what we hear. But we certainly want to know that that we're being heard and other people want to be heard. So this is our moment in time to make adjustments as needed when we're hearing something, providing some feedback to see if we got it right.
Which I think actually everybody wants. We think we don't want it, or we think that it's going to. No, if your boss just walks by your desk and just drops the report on your desk that you just spent all this time working on, and all they say is garbage. Now you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. You don't have anything to do. You don't have anything to work with, right? You wouldn't want that. If things are not being communicated, you do want to know. And if there's any specific way that you can help that happen, you want to know. You do want to know.
Absolutely. So let's take that example. And I'm going to feed you, or try my best to feed you, some assertive communication. And let's pretend that you are a boss that was just having a rough morning, and you actually want to provide some appropriate feedback to me.
Okay.
Just run with it.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay. So I'm going to pick this report up, and I'm going to check in with you as my boss to see if you're available, and you are. And so I come into your office, and I might say to you, "Hey, Dr. Ellis, I feel confused. This report that I worked on, and you mentioned that it was garbage. I was wondering if I could get some more information on why that might be, so I could make some adjustments."
Ooh, that was really good.
Oh, thanks.
I'm supposed to give you feedback on what now?
On that. What did you hear me say?
Oh.
If you're a boss that's very in tune and you know how important feedback is for checking understanding, what did you hear me say?
I think I actually heard you say, I need more information to make this better for you, which is good. And if you did the passive route, you would just spend a bunch of time working on that report and not know if it was going to be any better. If you did the passive aggressive route, all hell breaks loose. If you did all hell breaks loose if you do the aggressive route too. There's a way I could hear, I'm a crappy boss who doesn't give you what you need to perform. There's a way I could hear, you don't really care about this job. You're just trying to be a slacker. But with what you said, it would be a harder walk for me to get to either of those two places. And that's what we're looking for, right? You cannot fully control what my inner landscape is when I hear you, but you can make it as unlikely as possible for me to misunderstand. That's good.
And also, we need to use those moments because I think too, and we definitely see this in our offices with working on relational growth and communication. The negative, if someone doesn't get it right, receiving that as something very negative, instead of possibly looking at it as a learning opportunity, right? I didn't recite it back to you the way that you were meaning for it to sound or to be, or the meaning behind it. Instead of immediately jumping to this defensive mode, making it negative, look at it as a chance to do it again, a learning opportunity. Or
I really like the thing you said a couple minutes ago about the construction site. Like, let's get clear while we're in blueprint. If we can't get clear when we're in blueprint, let's get clear when we're in foundation. If we can't get clear then, let's get clear as soon as we possibly can so that we don't get a high rise built and then the whole thing falls apart.
And by the way, it gets super expensive. Wealth to make those many changes once it's already done.
Well, and by that time, are both people invested? Is your boss still invested in the fourth report you turn in because you didn't ask for feedback? Is your partner still invested in a relationship where they didn't feel heard on the construction of floors 1 through 25?
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just going to throw out there, and this is just something personal that I love to do, and it's and you don't have to recreate the wheel. There are conversation cards that are written and or you can even get this stuff off the internet that are deep conversation starters. Let's say practice. Don't just. I think a lot of times what we do is if I say to you, Dr. Ellis, what makes you feel loved the most? Okay, you give me the answer. We move to the next card. How cool would it be to actually practice active listening, reflecting, and feedback, etc., for your communication growth?
Esther Perel has a great card deck game called Where Should We Begin? That does that thing. It's one of the best ones out there, not sponsored. Just saying. Let me say a couple more things about how I think this works in regular conversations. Okay. Because that asking your boss for feedback, I feel like is maybe the lowest hanging fruit. People, I think maybe we're taught to do that, but we're not really taught to do it that much with our partners or with our friends or with our kids. Especially with the kids, you say a thing, you expect them to know what you're talking about, and then they don't live up to your expectations and insert toilet flush again. Right. So for one thing, people are always trying to give you feedback, whether you are requesting feedback or not. And so sometimes that is nonverbal. We're paying attention. Of course, they're giving you feedback in their own language. Yes. So we're always going to have, again, that issue with not seeing from the same point of view.
We're not all the same.
Still worth it to be watching, especially in a relationship that's ongoing, right? The longer you do that and the more work you do to get your interpretations right, as long as you keep that flexible as you change and grow, that's how intimacy builds. Those are those people who actually can sort of predict how their partner is going to respond 20 years of practice later.
Yes.
So people are trying to give you feedback. Sometimes the way they do that is just by whatever's the thing they say next. Most people are not doing what we teach them to do in therapy, which is reflect what you just said. Kind of summarize back to you what you just said. That would be awesome, but they're mostly not doing that. They're mostly just saying the next thing they were thinking.
Yes.
And so a lot of times that's going to go one of two ways. You're either going to be confused or you're not going to be confused. Both of those are a problem.
Yes.
Here's a good example. Earlier today, we were talking and you said that you had gotten a new horse. But that's not what I thought you said. I thought you said you had gotten a divorce, but you didn't say it in the voice I expected or in the time or place that I expected. So I said to you, I am pretty sure I do not know what you just said.
Because I said it with excitement.
I think something's not okay. I was confused. When you're confused, just stop right then and check and see what's going on. If your communication partner is not saying something that makes perfect sense to you, stop and check. Okay.
1,000%.
Also, stop and check even if you're not confused. Because of, and maybe we should do a whole day on biases too, right? But because of things like confirmation bias, right? We're very likely to take whatever our conversation partner says next and just fit it into whatever we were thinking.
Yes.
So even if you're not confused, check anyway.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I have a little sticky here that says, before this CJ's, remind Ellis to say a thing.
Yep. I stuck in a little sticky note for you. Thanks for honoring that. This is why I want to make sure, I don't know how this is going to go over, but I want to throw it out there, which is, okay, yes, say what you mean. Say what you mean. Say it clearly. Say it assertively. Say it in the way that is most likely to actually be communicated to the person that you are communicating with. And treat other people as if they mean what they say. Now, listen, you can take that in a real passive-aggressive way. That can get real nasty real quick, and that is not what I mean. But if you want people to say what they mean, you have to treat them as if they mean what they say.
Yes. Reach.
So if you think that you're going to do that, you're going to treat them like they mean what they say. And you're going to treat them like they meant what they said. And you can tell that passive-aggressive thing is good. Don't do it. Just come on back and ask for feedback, ask for clarification, get confused instead. But by and large, we will improve our communications in this world of people who are so different from us and coming from different places. If we are saying what we mean and we are teaching other people to say to us what they mean.
I love that. I'm glad you put the sticky in there. Okay, crown jewels.
Here we go.
Here we go. CJ number 1. Be authentic when you're communicating. Be honest. Show empathy. Have integrity. Be genuine.
Good. Crown jewel number 2. Speak so others will actually hear you. So be clear, be assertive, but taking into account that they're coming from a different place than you are.
And crown jewel number 3, feedback is fundamental. Feed back what you hear. Thank you for listening today. We hope that you were given and picked up on some really good tips and skills on improving your communication. We would love for you to like us. If you did, share.
And subscribe.
Subscribe. And we're asking you to email questions. If you have specific communication questions, email those to us at richthoughtsporjokes@gmail.com.
What was it? It was richthoughtspoorjokes@gmail.com. That's so easy.
It is.
We did such a good job making that easy for you.
We did. We have more communication information to give you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to Rich Thoughts, Poor Jokes. We hope today's episode offered insight or possibility, a new perspective on your mental wealth journey. Tune in next week for more strategies to drive success. Please consider subscribing or sharing this episode with someone else because your mental wealth matters. And a few rich thoughts and poor jokes can help you live with abundance.